So what's going on, everybody? Just doing a quick video, just something that happened that I just want to share with people that are going through the same thing. When you are dealing with companies, or not even companies, but accounts that may be kind of stressing you out, or, it's just you're doing more than what they're really asking you to do, and it's kind of getting overwhelming. So I'm gonna tell you a scenario that happened with me. I had an account, or I have an account. Well, had an account now, but it was an apartment complex. We were doing their foyer, or their breezeways of the apartment buildings, and it's like 22 separate buildings that we have to do for them. And it's not a difficult account. I had a really good subcontractor that's in there now, doing a great job. But I don't know. Lately, I've been kind of being kind of torn or worn out. I'm trying to decide if I'm keeping some accounts, because some accounts are just being a little bit more than, what I bargained for. Not necessarily what I bargained for, but they're expecting more than what they're paying for, and they're wanting, us to do more and more stuff. And I'm not trying to make a long story short, but here's what happened. Yesterday, I got a call from this apartment complex, and he said, hey, we want to bring, start having our cleaning in-house. So we wanted to know how we go about, putting in our notice. And for all of my accounts, they're required, and I'm also required, if we're going to do a termination, give them a 30-day notice in writing. And I told them, I said, hey, yes, it's a 30-day notice in writing, but this is what I'll do. If you guys are going to go in house, I'm not going to have you don't have to wait for the entire 30 days. We'll just cut it off or terminate at the end of the month. If that's cool, that'll give you guys time to kind of do what you need to do, and give us time to do what I need to do. And then trying to go into partial of the month and doing the invoices, I said, you know what, it's all good. Let's just close it out that way. That way we can start anew on the first of the month. All right. Try not to make a long story short. So today, coming from the gym, pulling out of the gym, I get a call from a previous property manager that was the property manager at an account that I was doing. Well, I still have the account, but she actually left. It's been about a year. She called. She said, hey, Mr. Lewis. Hey, I was like, hey, how you doing? She said, hey, I'm at a new location, and we wanted to see if you guys would come in to do a quote for us. And I said, yeah, absolutely. Because we hadn't spoken in a while. She was a great client to work with, no issues or anything like that. So she gave me the address. I looked it up, and the crazy thing about it is that this location is probably 4 to 5 times the size of the account that I just literally lost. And it's not like I lost it because we did anything bad. It's just, I feel that there's a shift going on, that, we keep these accounts that are, kind of, just pulling on us and pulling on us and pulling on us, when, and we'll actually keep them, instead of just saying, hey, this account is a little bit too much. Let me just go ahead and just let them go. Let me fire them, so that I can keep my mental, keep my sanity and all this other stuff. But we keep holding on and holding on and holding on. And I feel that the Lord just said, hey, you know what? I know that you're going to keep this account, and you're going to keep this other account that I'm actually thinking about getting rid of. You're going to keep this account because you don't want to quit, right? But sometimes you have to let certain things go to make room for things that are bigger and better, right? So, when you get that feeling that, hey, this account is a little bit too much, and, I want to grow, I want to scale. Sometimes you have to let things go to make room for the bigger things to come in. So with that being said, go with your feeling, go with your gut, go with your prayer life and all that other stuff, and make room for the growth. You can't just have, things in a way that's going to prevent you from moving on to bigger and better things. So while I'm sitting here, I'm waiting for my new book that I wrote a few weeks back, called The Invisible Bottleneck. Is supposed to come in today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for my book to come in. I'm going to prepare for this walkthrough that I'm going to have with that account next Tuesday. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an unboxing of my new book, The Invisible Bottleneck: Why Your Cleaning Business Still Runs Through You, and How to Finally Break Free, by yours truly. So you guys be on the lookout for that. I'll be making videos about that if you are interested in trying to figure out, why is your business not growing? Why is your business not scaling? And if it is you, then what are the issues that you are contributing to stopping your business from growing? 9 times out of 10, where the reasons our business aren't growing, because we don't make room for the growth. We don't delegate things out to other people. We don't create systems and automations to allow our business to grow. So be on the lookout for that, the Invisible Bottleneck by yours truly. So you guys take care. Hopefully that was a motivating story, and we catch you next time.